Hi, and welcome to the History Podcast. We are going to talk about the Qin and the Han Dynasty.
My part is the Qin Dynasty, and Nico's part is Han Dynasty.
So, let's get started. Hey, last time I was in World History class, and I heard of the Qing Dynasty. Could you talk about it?
King Emperor Xin Huangdi's policies and achievements unified China, but his harsh rule led to resentment. After his death, the dynasty fell apart.
And what did Shi Huangdi did?
In 221 before Christ, the King Jingzheng succeeded in unifying China. He gave himself the title Shi Huangdi, First Emperor. He created a strong government with strict laws and harsh punishment. He ordered the burning of all writing that did not agree with legalism. Shi Huangdi also used his armies to expand the empire, and Shi Huangdi changed China's old political system, took land away from them and forced thousands of nobles to move with their families to the capital so he could keep an eye on them. To control China, Shi Huangdi divided it into districts, each with its own governor. Shi Huangdi believed that all Chinese people should do things the same way. The emperor set up a new money system of gold and copper coins.
Why did Shi Huangdi build the Great Wall?
Shi Huangdi built a new capital city at Zhejiang, now called Xi, and Shi Huangdi didn't trust people. Several attempts were made on his life, and the emperor lived in fear of more attacks. The Chinese built a network of roads that connect the capital to every part of the empire. These roads made travel easier for everyone. Each of these new roads was the same within 50 pieces wide. This design helped the army move quickly and easily to put down revolts in distant areas. The roads also had a line that was sometimes reserved for the emperor. China's water system was also improved. Workers built dams and canals.
What were the terracotta soldiers were for?
In 1974, archaeologists found the tomb of Xin Huangdi near Xin'an and made an amazing discovery. Buried close to the emperor was an army of more than 6,000 life-size terracotta or clay soldiers. They were designed to be with Xin Huangdi in the afterlife. In other nervy chambers, there were another 1,400 figures.
What was the barrier was made for?
Border across China's northern frontier. The first section of the wall had been built in the 600s before Christ to keep invading groups out of China. The king connected earlier pieces of the wall to form a long, unbroken structure. Xin Huangdi's policies unified China. However, his policies also stirred resentment. Many peasants, scholars, and nobles hated his harsh ways. Still, Xin Huangdi was powerful enough to hold the country together. Hey, do you know the dynasty that came after the Qin dynasty?
Yes, it were the Han rulers moved away from legalism and based their government on Confucianism. This strengthened family bonds in Han China. In addition, art and innovation thrived under Han rule. A new religion, Buddhism, arrived to China through the trade.
What was the Han dynasty government?
When the Qin dynasty collapsed in 207 before Christ, different groups battled for power. After years of fighting, an army led by Liu Bang, who controlled. Liu Bang became the first emperor of the Han dynasty. The dynasty lasted for more than 400 years. The Han dynasty was a classical civilization. It's one marked by the great achievements. The rise of the new dynasty, Liu Bang, a peasant, was able to become emperor in large part because the Chinese believed in the mandate of heaven. He earned people loyalty and trust. He was liked by both soldiers and peasants, helped them to maintain control. Liu Bang's rule was different from the strict legalism of the Qin. He wanted to free people from harsh government policies. He set up a government structure that built one foundation begun to the Qin. He also relied on education officials to help him rule.
Who created a new government?
Creates a new government in 140 before Christ. Emperor Wu took out the throne. He wanted to create a stronger central government. He raised taxes and placed the supply of grain under the control of the government.
Wait, bro, I'm lost. Can you show me the timeline?
Okay, so in like 206 before Christ, the Han Dynasty begins. In 140 before Christ, Wu Di becomes emperor and tries to strengthen China government. At 25, the Han moved their capital east to Liang, and finally, at 220, the Han Dynasty falls.
And what did Wu Di do?
The Confucianism became China's official government philosophy. Government officials were expected to practice Confucianism. Wu Di even began a university to teach Confucianism ideas. If a person passed an exam on Confucianism teachings, he could get a good position in the government.
Was any social classes?
Yes, the upper, the second, and the peasants. These peasants were pretty doomed. The upper lived in a palace and could have luxuries and buy art or expensive objects. Nearly 60 million people lived in China during the Han Dynasty, and about 90% of them were peasants. They lived simple and boring lives. Increasing things was that children were taught from birth to respect elders, and was literally exploding the liberty of children.
Oh, so the tradition came from here. That is bad.
When the Chinese people came into contact with other civilizations, they changed ideas along with goods amounts. These ideas was a new religion. In the first century of AD, Buddhism spread from India to China along trade routes. Over time, the Han government became less stable. People ignored laws and violence was common. Millions of peasants went hungry.
Does Buddhism came on?
Out why they had to suffer so much. They were unable to find helpful answers. Buddhism seemed them to provide more help than the traditional Chinese beliefs. At first, Indian Buddhists had trouble explaining their religion to the Chinese. Then they used ideas found in Taoism to help describe Buddhism briefs. Buddhism introduction to China is an example of the fusion. This spread of ideas, goods, and technology from one country to another.
And with this, we finish our podcast. Thank you for listening and goodbye.
Thanks a lot.